Cool.
Have a good show, dude.
Thanks, brother. You're watching TysonTv. My name is Tyson. We've got another fun show lined up for you tonight. We're going to, of course, we've got a little robot performance, a lesson of the day. The lesson of the day is going to be the Twisto flex. The Twisto flex. You're curious, aren't you? Well, stay tuned. We've also got we're going to play a segment from a documentary called Esoteric Agenda. It's about 9 minutes long. It's really good. Going to learn about food and fluoride and aspartame. Then, of course, when we come back, we're going to do some live. I'm going to basically do a discussion about the movie that we just watched. And then we're going to get into your live phone calls. So, before we get into anything else, I want to talk about my week. I've had an exciting week. The first thing that happened that was really cool is, you know, I've kind of gone through a bit of a cleansing, if you will, and I gave away all my fancy dapper threads from that I acquired while I was living in LA. And so now, you know, now I got a TV show, and I want to be able to look good for you guys. So I was thinking to myself, man, I really wish I had a wardrober, is what I was thinking. I really want to get somebody to just, you know, costume me, just provide wardrobe for the shows. I don't really go out a whole lot, so I don't necessarily want to keep the clothes and, you know, then acquire another big wardrobe, and then I got to carry it around with me, and it's just more stuff. So I'm with my brother, and we're in a vintage clothes store he wanted to take me to on South Congress called New Bohemia. And I'm in there, and sure enough, I'm spotting some threads. I'm like, man, this is perfect. This is stuff I'd like to wear. And so I get the idea, bing! I said, maybe a trade, maybe a barter trade, maybe, you know, a sponsor. So I talked to the girl at the counter, Christina, and I said, hey, you know, I was wondering if we could work out a trade. And she was like, well, what'd you have in mind? I was like, well, I've got a TV show, and I do the robot. And before I can finish, she's like, oh, wow, I've watched your show. I was learning how to do the arm wave. And I was like, oh, really cool. So that was really cool. Just that, to get recognized, is always fun around town. And then, so sure enough, I presented her the idea I had, and she said, yeah, that's great. Sure, no problem. Just come on in. So I would like to thank New Bohemia for providing my new threads for this evening and potentially, more evenings. So, New Bohemia, if you guys haven't been there, check it out. They've got a lot of good stuff in there. It's there you go, 1606 South Congress Avenue. You can check them out online or just, visit the store. I'm going to lean this way so you can see that pretty cool picture. Right on. So that was New Bohemia. That happened, and that was really exciting. Pretty much the next day, I then received my new business cards in the mail. Truth be told, I'm now on show number 14, I think, and I have still not gotten business cards to pass out to people. So I finally just got my business cards in the mail. This is pretty exciting. And my original idea for a business card was to have a blue card and a red card. And then on the back, on the front of both cards would be the same information. On the back would be different information. The red card would have red pill information, and the blue card would have blue pill information, just basically a little positive, inspiring affirmation. And since that time, though, I've now just shifted totally to the red pill. So, if you get a card from me, you're getting thrown down the rabbit hole. So, if anybody out there wants to take this idea, feel free. If we take me out of the picture, I'll just talk here. So you have my business card, the front's just TysonTv.com, just the necessary information. And then if we scroll down and zoom in, the back of the card, well, one, I got to send it back. You see it's not, they didn't get the coloring just right, and it's kind of white. But awaken to the illusion with a list of websites and Google and YouTube things to search out and inform yourself with. Really good stuff right there. So I'm really excited about this card, but I will be having to send it back because they didn't glossy, obviously, the back. Yeah, okay. Okay, the other big news is that I now have robot DVDs in town for you to go purchase. If you'd like to purchase your own robot DVD, you can walk into a brick and mortar store and purchase one. They're not, they're always online on Amazon, so if you want to do that. But really, you can go down to the store. So you can buy these at Brave New Books. Brave New Bookstore is located at, it's right there on the screen, isn't it? Yeah, 1904 South Guadalupe. Love Brave New Books, so grateful for Brave New Books. So you can get it yourself, How to Do the Robot DVD at Brave New Books, as well as the Dance Zone, which is in some time I'm going to begin teaching a popping robot funk style, sub-style dance class at the Dance Zone. And the Dance Zone is located at 2323 San Antonio. This is underneath the Castilian Dormitory, really close to UT campus. It's almost at the corner of San Antonio and 24th. So that's 2323 San Antonio. You can also find How to Do the Robot DVDs there, as well as check out, if you've ever thought about taking a dance class. I was teaching there recently, and there was a guy in there, tall white guy, and it wasn't great, but was in there. He had consistently been in there, and we got to talking afterward, and I was really inspired by him because he literally said to himself, what am I, it was either A, most afraid of doing, and 2, terrible at, and dancing was what came up. And so he's just taken upon himself to start taking dance classes and learn dance. And I'm really, excited to actually work with David, is his name, at some point in the future. So, robot DVDs. Get yourself a robot DVD and get on the robot train. The next thing that went down is, we're going to get into this? Let's get into this. Robot drama. I experienced some drama this weekend, and I normally don't encounter a lot of drama. And when I say drama, what it was is, we'll call it bad news. Drama. We'll call it bad news, and it's all about how you take this news and then what you do with it. A lot of people, I'm including myself, everybody has that instant reaction to tell everybody about their bad news. Oh, God, guess what happened to me? This has happened to me. And then some people will just wallow in this bad news, and nobody wants to be around them, and then their life is just kind of negative. So I took this as an opportunity to see how I could transmute this information and not let it affect me so negatively. So what the news was is, for those of you I'll give you a little bit of background about myself, how I ended up here. I grew up in Austin, Texas. I moved away on September 11th, 2001 to California. In that time period, I rediscovered my passion and joy for dance, and I really developed my dance skills. Well, after so many years, I was frustrated with like the avenues. I decided, well, let's take matters into my own hands and form a company. So I formed a company with my two best dancing mates, Ace and Britt. I believe we got a picture of these guys. And what we did is we formed a company called Elastic Illusion. Our mission was to basically bring street dance to the masses by teaching it. I understood that it never really spread because nobody was teaching it. They always wanted to keep their dance moves to themselves for when the battle or the competition came, they could spring it. So we said, well, we're not going to keep any secrets. Let's just make a bunch of dance videos and put it out to the world and use YouTube and put them out on YouTube and then just sell DVDs. Well, after about a year and a half, the company dissolved, and Ace, who worked on his own DVD and made the website and whatnot, the original agreement was to split the profits in thirds. Well, Ace decided he just wanted to take all the work he had done and just kind of go off solo. So Britt and I, who's my other partner, who I kind of started the company with originally, early on, he and I, it was just kind of like left in the air that we would continue to split the robot DVD profits because I had, it was my company, not my company, but it was my equipment, my studio we used, and I was the talent. Britt did all the the editing and the graphic design and the website and uploading it to the online sites, and it was a lot of work. So it was totally fair, 50%. Well, some bickering went on online, and I just kind of stayed out of it. This is about 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. I just kind of really stayed out of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. Well, I get an email from Britt, my close partner. You got to understand, like, yeah, if we could take me out of here, we could. Here, there's me with. That was us in Los Angeles on Halloween last year. Just this past Halloween. Obviously, I went as Jesus. Ace went as like a cross between Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. And Britt was just kind of like a cross-dresser or something. That's him on your left in the gold. Ace is in the green. That's me in the middle. So Britt just kind of like took it upon himself to decide that I was going to now be his first talent under Britt Wolfson Productions, and he is going to give me 10% of the sales now instead of 50%. And so you can imagine, after like really, like I went into a lot of debt, I was like, this DVD is something that I just kind of like risked and let it ride on all of it. So to learn that I'm now hearing this from my best friend for so long, and now ex-business partner that I was only going to be getting 10% of the sales, it was not good news. I was not really excited or happy to learn this. So instead of immediately writing back with some crazy email like rah, 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 I decided to just let it sit on it and ended up having a great Sunday. Not a great Sunday, but I had a good Sunday. It wasn't like this news didn't just like totally negatively affect me. So I was really happy about this. So 2 really good things came out of this. One, I became very inspired by this news to just kind of really work and produce a bunch of DVDs and just kind of like, well, I'll make a how to do a better robot DVD, or I'll make robot routines. And now that I've got, pretty much professional equipment here and everything, like right now I own this content, which is pretty cool about Austin, public access. Public access is a wonderful resource, people, really. You should really check it out. If you've got an idea or something you want to get out and promote yourself, public access is where it's at. So yeah, I totally became motivated to just, really start producing more DVDs. And the other really positive thing that came out of it was that I didn't have a bad day. Like I can now, like, I'm getting better at receiving bad news and not letting it just ruin my mood. So because there's a phrase, and it's circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters. And what that means is circumstances, you could find yourself in kind of like the most horrible, worst, really bad circumstances that seemingly are just out of your control. They just happened to you. But the way you experience these circumstances is something that you do have control over. And so this was the opportunity that I took. I took this opportunity to say, okay, this is a circumstance that I'm not happy with, but I don't have to experience it unhappily and just like let it ruin my mood and my whole day. So I didn't talk about it a whole lot to everybody. Now I know I'm talking about it on TV, but yeah. So transformation, it's happened. It's possible. Just make it practice. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of your emotions. Be aware of your feelings. You are the controller of your own vibration. So that's what that is. Okay, now we're going to roll into our first little robot dance. I did a little before we got in here, before we went live. This is going to be a pre-recorded dance that I did just a few minutes ago for you guys. And when we come back, I'm going to teach you how to do the Twisto flex. So, check it out. Enjoy Tyson doing the robot. So, I'm learning that today's lesson, the Twisto flex. So what I'm learning is it's best to smile when I'm doing my little performances. Even though I think a manic or robot doesn't smile, it still shows through with the smiling. All right, so the Twisto flex. First, I'm going to demonstrate to you what the Twisto flex looks like. Here's the Twisto flex. Again, the Twisto flex. Bam. Step back. Hands down. Drop the knee. Twist your shoulders, your torso. Then straighten out the hips. Turn the head forward. Come back together. The Twisto flex. We'll do it again. All right, so this is going to be 8 counts. The first count, 1, pow. Just hold your hands up here, like stick them up. Get your hands in the air. 1, 2, you just take a step back. I'm not doing anything crazy with my feet. I'm just stepping backward, taking a step back. 2, there we go. I'm going to start back over so that you can see my feet. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, your hands come down to your hips. All right. 4, you're going to drop your left knee out. You're just going to mirror me. 4, you drop your left knee out. 5 is you're going to just kind of keep your hands shaped like this, right here, and bring your shoulders, your elbows forward. You're just going to try to make yourself, I don't know, the best is to take your left shoulder, push it as far forward to your chin, almost touching your chin as you can, and then take your right shoulder and just push it back as far as you can. The better you can get, almost like, a parallel, the better it'll look. So this is 5, 6. You then go ahead and do a heel-toe turn. Boom. Bring your heels, bring your legs facing forward now, the way your chest is faced. Turn your head. 7. Okay, you're just going to turn your head forward. 7, 8. Bring your feet and your arms down. We'll do it again. Starting from 1, hands up. 1, 2, take a step back. 2, 3, bring the hands down. 4, go up on your toe. On the left, drop the left knee forward and go on the toe. 5, do the twist, turn the shoulders, keep the arms isolated. You don't want to move the hands or the arms. You're just turning your chest, turning your shoulders. You're still keeping your hips facing this way and your head is facing forward, right? You're just turning it. 6, bring your feet around. This is all this motion right here. I'm just slowly, I'll do it. If we can get a little zoom on the feet, that should help out a little bit here. Show you guys what I'm doing here. Boom, go up on the toe, and then it's this action right here. See what I'm doing? I'm on the heel here with the right foot, and I'm on the left toe. And I just go boom, boom. Okay? Boom, boom. All right, let's get back to that part. We'll get till there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn the shoulders, 6, 7, 8. One more time. Ooh, lavender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, everybody all together. I hope you're standing up. We're all going to do it all together now. So, 1, hands up. 2, step back. 3, bring the hands down. 4, drop the left heel, drop the left knee on the toe. 5, turn the shoulders. 6, turn the feet, turn the hips, turn the legs. 7, turn the head. 8, bring it together. There you go. You've just learned the Twisto flex. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to watch about 9.5, 10 minutes of a documentary called Esoteric Agenda. You can Google Esoteric Agenda, and the first thing that will pop up will be the movie. The website is like talismanidols.com. It's just kind of like hard to remember, but Esoteric Agenda. We'll also be putting it up on the screen for you while it's playing for you to remember, but it's really a wonderful, wonderful film. It's got a really positive, powerful ending, which is the last 20 minutes of the film. You can also find this movie at Brave New Books. Just go down to Brave New Books, let them know, hey, I'd like a DVD copy of Esoteric Agenda. Give them a little donation, and they'll burn you a copy and give it to you for free. Yes, so I'm not going to prime you. I'm not going to say much about what you're about to see. We'll just let you see it, and then when we come back, we'll talk about it. All right. Hope you enjoy Esoteric Agenda. Here it comes.
Going to tell you is exaggerated, is interpolated, or is imagined. Everything I'm going to tell you is documented. He who controls food controls the world. Well, they said in 1962, we're going to work toward total global implementation of Codex Alemateris on December 31st, 2009. They were sort of guidelines. Now, Codex Alemateris Commission is administered by the World Health Organization, WHO, and the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization. They fund Codex and they run it at the request of the UN. So they're mommy and daddy to Codex Alemateris. In 1994, Codex, with no notice here in this country whatsoever, declared nutrients, put on your intellectual seatbelts, declared nutrients to be toxins. They're poisons. Under Codex, every dairy cow on the planet must be treated with Monsanto's recombinant bovine growth hormone. Furthermore, under Codex, every animal used for food on the planet must be treated with subclinical antibiotics and must be treated with exogenous growth hormones. If you do the numbers in the WHO FAO projections, the epidemiological projections, they estimate, not I, that just the vitamin and mineral guideline alone, when it goes into global implementation on December 31st, 2009, will result in a minimum of 3 billion, that's B, bad, big, billion deaths. 1 billion through simple starvation. Those folks who die are not particularly economically successful from the point of view of the corporations, but the next 2 billion, they will die from the preventable diseases of undernutrition. Who will live? Probably those people who are wealthy enough and powerful enough to have their own pushers of clean food and nutrients. So we need your help, because the United States leadership is what's going to literally save the population of the planet.
The UN has put out dozens of public documents where they're calling for an 80% world population reduction. In fact, at the Beijing Women's Conference, the World Conference, back in 1997, the head of the UN Food Program said, "We will use food as a weapon against the people."
"66% of United States residents' public water is fluoridated. It is known to have tremendous effects on bone cancer, joint problems, bone weakness, lowered estrogen and testosterone levels, and dental fluorosis, which is yellowing of the teeth and pitting in the enamel. Wouldn't it make more sense to enhance public water with vitamins which are meant to be ingested to promote overall health, rather than putting such a toxic chemical in our water with a bogus explanation that it will improve our dental health? We now know that fluoride causes more dental problems than it solves. Something doesn't seem right about this. Do you honestly believe that these companies care deeply enough for the people to spend large amounts of their own money to fluoridate public water when the people already purchase their own toothpaste? But there's a difference between toothpaste and drinking water. We don't ingest toothpaste. If you go to any hardware store and look at any rat poison product, you will only find one ingredient: sodium fluoride. It is the most toxic ionic molecule outside of potassium dichromate. Now Dannon, along with other companies, have begun fluoridating bottled water. It is becoming increasingly difficult to get away from. And the fact that fluoride is also used in many prescription antidepressants shows that it eliminates aggression and motivation in people.
Fluoride, to my knowledge as a physician, has absolutely no biological benefit whatsoever.
But one of the significant things is that the Russians carried out all sorts of experiments on the people living in the Gulag. One of them, of course, was to fluoridate the water. Why? You fluoridate the water, why people are not as aggressive as they ordinarily would be. In fact, what is the active ingredient in Prozac that is so widely distributed in America today? Well, it's a fluoride compound.
And now, we are finding that public water nationwide is showing up with arsenic, lead, cadmium, and thermonium, which is a radioactive form of lead. Cancer, lowered sex drive, birth defects, sedation, and brain defects. Does this not sound like a wonder drug for anyone aiming to control a population?
It's quite astonishing, Paul, the degree to which environmentalists have not been educated about fluoride. You know, people have an unconscious trust in their doctor or their dentist, and if you can persuade doctors and dentists that fluoride is safe and good, then you're able to reach the rest of the nation. People believe their doctors and dentists, and that was a way of promoting fluoride for Bernays. Fluoride was killing their cattle, destroying their crops. Fluoride given to rats had produced bone cancer and liver cancer, and that those results had been doctored to make it look as though fluoride hadn't caused as much cancer.
The pattern that we saw, it typically is what we see with other neurotoxic agents that are well known to cause a hypoactivity or a memory problem or an IQ problem. When I first presented the results of these studies, one of the individuals sitting and listening to the results, he says, "Do you have any idea what you're saying?" And he says, "You're telling us that we're reducing the IQ of children." And basically I said, yes.
Aspartame, the artificial sweetener found in almost every low sugar or sugar-free product on the market.
First of all, aspartame is made up of three things: methanol, which of course is what produces blindness, aspartic acid, and phenylalanine. These are all poisons. Aspartic acid, of course, produces brain lesions. This was known back in the early 1970s. Methanol produces blindness. Phenylalanine is what you see in the brain, and in high dosage it produces trauma.
We're not making this all up. The FDA did publish back in, I think it was in the 80s, they did publish the 92 potential side effects of aspartame. And they do, these side effects are quite, are extremely serious. Things like dizziness, problems with balance, abdominal pain and cramps, changes in vision, seizures and convulsions, etc., etc.
So the nervous system seems to be one of the areas that's most affected. So we see people have difficulty thinking. They feel like they're walking around in a cloud or a fog.
Yet despite all of these harmful effects, Donald Rumsfeld pushed it out into the stores in over 5,000 products when he was CEO of Searly, the company that manufactured aspartame.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit of information there. So it's really weird when I'm with this television show that I have here for me because, you know, I want to be very happy and excited and positive and inspiring and, you know, inspire you. And at the same time, though, I want to get information to you so that you can't say, well, I didn't know. And so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do a balance of, you know, exposing some real truths that are out there and just to inform you, not to try and scare anyone or anything like this. And so what I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to start backing these truths up with solutions. So anytime I roll some kind of a dark truth out, I'm going to back it up with some solutions that we can do to nullify or transmute the information that we just that has been being executed out. I don't know. So basically, there's a New World Order, and they do have this is a very real, just Google New World Order, or Google NWO. You can learn all about this. There's a lot of information out there. And, you know, one of the things they want to do is reduce the population. It's getting out of control. They feel like they are the caretakers of the planet, the world management team, if you will, and they need to manage the population. So they do this through usages like we just saw, the Codex Alemateris. I don't know, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. So solutions to some of the things that we just watched there. Personally, I don't drink tap water. I very rarely do. I should say, first and foremost, what the biggest solution I would say to all of this is to really, I don't know how else to say this, is to really just kind of like live in a constant state of love, joy, excitement, exuberance, you know, see through the eyes of a tourist, even though you're looking at things you've seen 1,000 times. Just if you can really do this, you will find that it's a vibrational thing. You will vibrate, so you'll vibrate at a higher frequency, and this frequency will just kind of like cleanse you, if you will. Really will just allow the body to do what it's designed to do. So the body is a self-healing machine. It will cleanse out the toxins if it's not clogged up with toxins. So the first thing I would do to nullify the aspartame and the fluoride is to do a really good cleanse. You can do the master cleanse. You can go into your local Whole Foods store. There's a lot out there. You can just Google, you know, detoxify and cleanse. I do one once a year, once or twice a year. I do the master cleanse. It's not hard to find. Just Google master cleanse. It's also known as the lemonade diet. So cleansing is the first thing. And then once your body's cleansed, be aware of what you're putting in your body. Now I eat meat, you know, I eat sugar, and, you know, I'm not totally watching what I eat. I don't just, you know, eat anything. But I also don't limit myself, because if I want something, I'll have it. You know, I'm not trying to live, you know, till I'm like, you know, 200 years old or anything like that. I just want to enjoy life now. With that said, I also am a very happy, excited, inspired, empowered person. And so I feel that just being this way gives me a really healthy vitality life. I don't know. Boy, one of these days I'm going to get these words just coming out nice and smooth and right. When that day is, I don't know. So some solutions to some of the things that we just saw. Well, obviously, the fluoride, get yourself I recommend a Berkey light filter. There it is right there. This is you can find a Berkey filter. You can get these at Brave New Books, actually. We were talking about Brave New Books earlier. By the way, if you're just now joining us, you're watching TysonTv live Wednesday night on Channel 16, 10 o'clock. We do dancing, then we do information. That's how it goes. So the best thing you can do is to get yourself a Berkey light filter. We've got a couple more images here we can show you. Or you can go to berkeywater.com. That's BERKEY, lightfilter.com. I use a Berkey where I live, so, you know, this will show you they got red dye or orange dye up there, and you can see it's still really clean, you know, in the bottom. That's just an example for you right there. So that's one thing you do. You can also put I really recommend putting on a shower filter for your shower. Our skin is the largest organ in our body, and it just absorbs whatever's touching and whatever's on it. So you're absorbing a lot of chlorine and, you know, fluoride. I don't know what else is in the waters these days, but, you know, they're not. These levels are very, very minute. I'm aware of this. They're just enough to cause ailments. maybe some disease, so that then you can start taking a pill a day to treat the ailment or disease to where it's not harming you because it's probably numbing the sensation or something like this. So this is how it works. It's not designed to just kill everybody, right? It's a slow process so that you can be treated, and then somebody else, some big pharma company, can make money by you taking a pill a day type of deal. You with me? Is this making sense? Please, I hope so. Okay, so aspartame. Hey, aspartame, just stay away from it. I don't touch aspartame at all. I would rather do high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar before I do aspartame. Of course, cleanse on the regular. So, as far as the Codex Alemateris, this is what the lady was talking about December 31st, 2009, where the UN does some sort of a mandate thing that will cause over who knows what period of time 3 billion deaths. Do I believe this? No, I don't believe this. But I do believe that there will be food shortages experienced at some point, likely in the future, for some percentage of the world that is not used to experiencing food shortages. Yes, I know there's food shortages everywhere, but I'm talking about for people who are used to being able to go down to the grocery store and just get whatever they want to eat. So I think that it's my policy to hope for the best. Why not prepare for the worst? Don't dwell on it, but there are a few things that you can do to prepare yourself for in case there are any sort of food shortage is. One of those things is when you're going to the grocery store, you can just get 1 or 2 cans of storable food. 1 or 2 cans every time you go to the grocery store, and just put it aside, Another thing you can do is, of course, grow your own food. Grow your own food, grow your own herbs, plant fruit-bearing trees, things like this. Create alternative means of sustainability. To me, this means utilizing your local communities, your neighbors, and coming together, and this person grows one thing or provides this type of food or service or something like this, and then everybody can kind of like work with each other, work with each other, trade, barter. I'm talking about going back to basically a trade and barter system. I have a whole idea for how to work a trade and barter system. I'm going to get into that, not this show though. We'll get into that on another show.
Got a couple calls.
Okay, cool. We got some phone calls. When we finish this up really quick, a couple more things you can do is you can actually vacuum seal your own food and then store it in Tupperware so the bugs don't get it or whatever. And the other thing is you can store non-modified seeds. The woman was touching there on the Monsanto. Monsanto is this company that owns Roundup, the weed killer, and they basically are genetically modifying all of our soy, wheat. I mean, I don't know, it's a lot. I don't know how much, but it's a lot. And their seeds now will not reproduce. They have seeds that will only sprout once, and then if they fall, they die. So you would want to store non-genetically modified seeds is another thing that I can say about this. 3 things that cause dis-ease within a body. Dis-ease is stress, overbuildup of toxins in the body, and a prolonged exposure to electromagnetic chaos. This would be the big flat screen TVs, your laptops, things like this. These are the 3 things that ultimately cause disease. So when you get sick or ill or an ailment, it's one of these 3 things. So cleansing the body is always the best way to allow the body to then heal itself. That's what it's designed to do. The body just needs to be cleansed so that the body can then do what it's designed to do. Okay, we do have some phone calls. Let's take a call. Who's there?
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, hello.
It's good old Moses enjoying the show. Hooray, hooray.
Thanks, Moses. Actually, Moses, can I put you on hold?
You bet.
So Moses called me and left me a message last week. When Moses called up last week, he mentioned something about a silo by the airport where they could be, burning the bodies if this Austin turns into a concentration camp or something like that. It's really tough for me to talk about this stuff, these kind of possibilities. Yeah, I don't think they'll happen. I do believe that it's a possibility, and what I wanted to thank Moses for is what he said to me in his message was to not just shy away from these ugly truths, to still be able to talk about them and then come up with a solution to transmute these things, type of deal. So I wanted to thank you for that, Moses, because the point that he made was that there are Tibetans who have just basically meditated their way into would you say, Moses?
Just ultimately that they had been oppressed and rounded up regardless.
Regardless, they're oppressed and rounded up regardless. And so I really appreciate you saying that, Moses. I really, really do, man, because it made me think, and that's real, man. You know, it's our job, it's our duty as you know, conscious, aware people to inform ourselves of through alternative media sources of what's really going on. And then through understanding what's really going on, being able to go and then make those specific changes by getting more people aware of it, things like this. So I wanted to thank you for that, Moses, but that's a tough image for people to buy, you know, a silo with. But hey, you know, they do have that, that is a possibility on their agenda. I believe that. I know you believe that.
Well, ultimately, that was just kind of like I was making light over myself being like perplexed over like, what is that? It looks like a water tower. And a friend of mine who is into construction was equally perplexed. And, you know, we just joked about it. But two positive and strange, cool things. On that CD, there was a song that the chorus is, even though we die, we'll live forever, floating through outer space, you and I together. It's all in our mind. And for some reason, I just pictured that part from Ezekiel where he sees the wheel in the sky.
Yeah.
And so the apex of the song says, I've seen a big weird thing coming out of the sky. It looked like a wheel all covered with eyes. I've seen a big spaceship coming out of the sky. It looked like a wheel all covered with eyes. Jesus came out from the bottom of the ship. My knees started shaking and my mind did a flip. Then he transformed into Buddha, too. I didn't know what the hell to do. The Virgin Mary started glowing green. I couldn't figure out what it all could mean.
Project Bluebeam!
Hey,
that was good.
So weird. That is so weird because that's ultimately what I just like discovered that I was kind of, you know, having this new agey vision like, you know, 4 years ago or whatever, and I'm, you know, just I don't want to say I channeled into a song, but it does have good intentions. But I had sure ended up thinking, boy, how the technology does now exist to, you know, make for everyone to see spaceships coming out of the sky. Here comes Jesus. And
Let me stop you. Let me stop you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know we do have some other callers. I'm gonna let you go right here, Moses, and just speak on what you're saying. Thank you so much for the phone call.
You bet.
Couple things, Moses. I will answer both questions. One, Moses is talking about something called Project Bluebeam. I'm gonna go speak with my oracle in LA here in a little bit, so I'll get some, you know, some details on the on how real this is or not. The oracle, by the way, his name is Bashar, B-A-S-H-A-R. Just Google it. So Project Bluebeam. This is like you know, supposedly a plan to project holographic images into the sky and to you know, basically scare the population into the apocalypse or the return of Muhammad or Jesus or, you know, the UFOs, you know, just create a big scare in everybody. Who knows? But Project Bluebeam is kind of what he was alluding to there. And Moses, what I was going to finish last week about, like, you know, we were talking about the Get Along song, Project Bluebeam. There it is. The Get Along song is, you know, it's tough. Like, it's really tough for me to do other people's creative ideas because I really am selfish and I really want to do my own thing. I've got, you know, just a vault of ideas. Not a vault because it's not a secret, but I literally have just got idea after idea after idea. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably play the song next week, and we'll just play, you know, a minute or two of it for the audience, let them hear it, and take some phone calls and see what they think. About the song and where would they like me to do a little dance to it or make a little video to it. So I think I'm going to leave it up to the audience. So we got another phone call here. We're going to take this call now.
Got Cody on the line.
Cody, I understand you're here. What's up, brother?
I want to get back to what you were talking about when you were talking about sweeteners. Have you ever heard of stevia?
I have heard.
Stevia.
Yeah, man, stevia.
No, that's a natural sweetener that's good for you.
It's a root, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an extract of a root, you know, or whatever.
Right.
But you can get it. It's available, and you can drink all you want. Now, when you said you were reverting to high fructose corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup inhibits the production of insulin. Now, the Coke company threw that on you in the 80s when they brought out the new Coke and they switched it around and they brought it back with high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
You'll start looking, the diabetics went way through sky high after that. Everybody started slapping that to us. You want to stick away from high fructose corn syrup.
No,
you'll notice, man, they're noticing people are getting smart about it, and they're starting to throw a few commercials.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
The guy go, corn? It's made out of corn.
Yeah, I heard about this.
It's totally bunk. It's just like if they were doing a cigarette ad at you, man. I'm telling you straight up.
I wanted to see it. Friends were telling me about it.
High fructose corn syrup, just like aspartame.
Cool.
Get away from it. Start using stevia.
Thanks, brother. Thank you for the call.
Hey, and I understand that Coke company got some patents with the stevia products, and they announced quietly a few months ago, and they worked out with the Chinese.
So what I understand is that, I don't often. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I had to choose between the two. But I'm not recommending people do high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar. I like to do agave nectar, which is from a cactus, agave nectar, honey, or stevia. I'm not the biggest fan of stevia, but that's what I do use to sweeten my tea or coffee or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't do just straight up sugar. But I will eat a pastry, you know? I will eat a brownie. So I guess I do, you know, in some ways. But I just consciously, if I can avoid it, I do avoid it. It's just sometimes I get munchies and it happens. Okay, we have another phone caller out there.
Yeah, we got Mike on line 1.
Sweet. Mike, how's it going, brother?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, want to know if, what do you know about cell phone usage? A lot of people are getting they're saying people are getting brain tumors and brain,
Well, what I heard about cell phone, I would attribute that to electromagnetic chaos. And I hear that in 10 years from now, there is just like the biggest, there's just going to be an epidemic of brain tumors because I started using my cell phone in like 94, I think, or something like that. So 10 years from now, it'll be like 20, 25 years of prolonged people holding up the cell phone to their ear. And then it's like, you know, everybody's got brain tumors. So I'm really aware of this. I got one of these big iPhones. So I'm very aware of this. I don't talk on the phone a lot. I try to text most of the time. I don't keep it in my pocket if I can. I'll keep it in my bag. When I'm driving, I don't just like set it between my legs near my jewels, my gifts. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Cell phone usage is another thing. But there's also so many waves just passing through us right now. With all the towers up, it's like, you know, how can you really avoid it? My thing, the best way to avoid that is just really like be able to just vibrate high, be excited, be passionate, be positive, things like this. And I really believe that you will transmute any sort of like, you know, anomaly or, you know, free radical you got floating around inside. It'll just get vibrated out of the system. That's just me.
Yeah, I do appreciate it, man. Like you and Alex Jones, man, you always keep the public aware of things that are going on, you know. There's a lot of underground things going on that we don't even know about, you know.
Yeah.
So much secrecy, you know.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be number one on the list for the government, but apparently we're not.
Yeah, apparently we're not. I appreciate the comment next to Alex Jones. I do not put myself in that man's category. But thank you, Mike.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Cool, brother. Anybody else out there?
Yeah, we got Andrew line 2.
Cool. Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Good, Tyson. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm not at liberty to discuss my professional background, but regarding Project Bluebeam, I can tell you it is many faceted. It entails a combination of chemtrails, HARP, the highest sophisticated satellite systems, and holograms. And hologram technology has been perfected for quite some time.
Yeah, I understand this. Let me ask your honest opinion. Do you have more to add to it?
Yes.
Okay.
To be as succinct as possible, because I know you're running out of time, Project Bluebeam will combine all of these aforementioned technologies. And for instance, chemtrails are one of the many aspects of their application is to turn the entire atmosphere into a plasma. And there's many other aspects to it, but when they are ready. They're going to combine HARP technology, the plasma that our atmosphere will be, high-tech satellite systems and holograms, combined with a technology that has even made its way all the way down to Coke machines, and you've seen probably promotions for Coke machines that will be soon able to transmit a signal right into your brain when you walk into the grocery store saying drink Coke. You won't hear it, but it'll transmit right into the mind. Well, they're going to use that on a global scale to make all of us believe that Armageddon is happening.
Yeah.
We will see it, we will feel it, we will believe it,
Yeah.
and combining that with the ability to cause earthquakes,
Yeah.
to cause tsunamis, to cause hurricanes,
Yeah.
hailstorms, all of the biblical definitions of the apocalypse.
Yep.
They're going to apply that in the Western world where people are primarily Christian. In the Muslim world, they will apply the definitions that the Quran gives to
Apocalypse.
the apocalypse, and
Right.
each major religion around the world will believe
Yep.
that their system is coming true.
Yep.
And then with that, the fear and panic, and again, if
Yep.
you believe, you hear, see, and are experiencing Jesus, speaking to you and speaking
Yeah.
to all of us,
Yeah.
and the Muslims believe it, and if you go around the world, the goal is to, even though it'll be actually false, it will plunge the entire species into a religious warfare that each one wholeheartedly believes, and even the most rational people will believe is true. All of their dogma they've been taught their whole life is really true,
Right.
and that will override rational thought in the human mind, and we will actually give the New World Order we will give them at least 50% of their goal, which is we will kill 50% of each other off, just by ourselves, so they won't even have to do it. And then they will later come in and use their race-specific viruses and all of their other technologies they have ready for all of humanity to...
Robert, I got to cut you off right here, man. We're running out of time. Robert, thank you so much for the call, man. Email me at TysonTv@gmail. I'd love to be in touch with you on this.
So I just want to say real quick to all the people who can hear me.
Okay. Okay, everybody, tune in every week. Those of you that are on hold, I will take your call when we come right back. I'd like to thank David Rutledge in the booth. Always did a great job tonight. My name's Tyson. Thank you so much. Tune in every week, Channel 16, 10 o'clock on Channel Austin, Wednesday night. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Mwah. You want to put somebody on hold? Okay. Yeah. Really? They would not want you. Oh.
And then I gotta take it out of the freaking the chroma key mode.
Right.
I had it all ready to go.
Yeah.
It just was like, hit the button and go.
It was funny to hear your.
I got a bunch of calls in at the last second, so I was like, I just didn't even answer the last two calls.
Yeah. That's cool. Hey, I had a funny idea. What do you think of this idea? To buy a little cheap $30 goat.
Just what you're thinking. I'm sure this all sounds absurd. but you can try it for yourself. You don't have to take my word. See, this is your reality. Put it to the test, 'cause it's no secret anymore that your focus is what you manifest. So free